Hey guys, and welcome to an honest review. Today we're going to talk about and review SpaceHulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition. Yeah, so first of all, SpaceHulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition, what is it? It is, as it says itself on the title, an enhanced edition of the game SpaceHulk Deathwing, so with improved graphics, but nothing changed to gameplay, mechanics, and so on. So this is basically a unique and challenging realization of the world of 40k. Warhammer 40,000, if you don't know it. You can look it up in Google. It's a pretty big universe, and most of you will possibly know or at least have heard of it. To make it short, what is SpaceHulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition? It is basically Left 4 Dead in the Warhammer 40,000 universe, but with more open levels and missions would have to be accomplished. You fight against the so-called Xenos, and represented by the Tyranids here. Let's take a look at what this game promises. The screenshots all look nice, don't get me wrong. Gonna enlarge them. And this is basically what you will get, and you will see later on. Okay, so the looks are very nice. And now let's see the trailer.
Peggy 16.
The most feared killers in the galaxy. Without fear, without mercy, armored against any threat, equipped to hunt any prey, created for a single purpose: to serve the Emperor. For tomorrow, you die! Forget your past life. From this day on, you are a dark angel. Nothing else is of consequence.
Yep, that is it. It looks promising though, and let's see what it holds. Let's go for the game. Later on we will take a look at the common reviews on Steam, and based on what we see in the next couple of minutes or what I will show you, and I give you my feedback of what I honestly think about it. I have to also admit that I'm a big 40k fan in general. I like the universe. I have a lot of the books and audiobooks. I have tabletop armies, and yeah, it is a big part of my hobby in real life. So I'm not really fanboying too hard about it, but yeah, I get quite an impression on the universe itself. Let's take a look at it. We have the menu, which is really basic, so you can start your campaign. Tutorial, which is not included in the campaign. We continue is the button you smash when you want to continue your campaign. We have special missions. We have the multiplayer. You can load a game. You can customize your Terminators, and you have the options, credits, which can be viewed separately on demand if you want to. So the options are pretty common, like in every shooter or in every game, basically. Controller and computer is included in both. I have to admit, I play it on basic mouse and keyboard. I don't use a controller here. I have an Xbox. If I want to play with a controller, I play Xbox basically. Audio, video, full screen. Yeah, I'm just gonna show it to you in the auto config. So you have screen calibration where you can basically put how dark you want to have it. I like it dark, whatever. And the game itself, NPC Terminators hold current order after action, slow-mo during dialogues, display weapon actual aiming. Photo mode means you basically put off your head-up display and interface, which I'm gonna show you later on what that means. Muzzle flashes is, I think, the intensity of the effects you have firing weapons. Head bobbing, I don't know what that is. Maybe the English speakers here can help on the comments. We're going to start the multiplayer. I'm going to talk about the campaign later on. No one is left behind, the game is open, so I will just join that. As you see, it's just one game, and this is the first thing which you will experience when you're here. If you're gonna buy it, make sure you have friends playing it too, because the player base is very small, and if you find games, you might have a big and very high ping. It is no publisher or run servers, so you connect to each other's people, to each other, and that means if we start a game right now and you join my game, and if we play like for 30 minutes, like that's a mission can take between 20 and 40 minutes, I think, depending on the difficulty and the team you play with. So if I disconnect after 30 minutes, you won't get any XP, you won't finish the level, and yeah, the ping is 100 ms, which is in my opinion pretty high for a shooter. I'm used to a standard of a maximum of 34 ms here where I am located. I'm not going to join this game, or I'm just going. Come on, join. I'm going to show you the options of creating games later on, but now we have the chance to join a 4-man group, which is nice, so we don't have to wait later. So right now we are possibly diving right into a mission, which is possibly at the end, or you don't know. It doesn't show you the progress when joining. So it can be at the start of the mission, it can be at the final. It just shows you if they are already playing or still in the lobby, which you will see after. So 40k games are difficult. I have had mixed experience with it. There's a Dawn of War series, which I like, from part 1 to part 3. And press any button to start. Yeah, where is it? Looking for any button. So you get a, just, yeah, 40k games in general have a hard standing. They are difficult because the fans expect a lot and they are very keen to details, and yeah, we are going to that later on. Okay, so skipping the briefing, you have here the different classes. You have 6 classes you can play, which is Assault, Specialty, the Soul Terminator, Thunderhammer Storm Shield, the classic, Maze of Absolution, Purgatory Sword, basically Power Sword, Lightning Claws. Nice. The look is Dark Angels, obviously. Unfortunately, there's no DLC to convert into Black Templars or Imperial Fist or Space Wolves if you want to. Yeah, here you can change the different setups and loadouts. What this means, level 1 to 4, I cannot really tell. Because here, level 1, you see on the bottom right, Maze of Absolution, blah 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 blah. Okay, but what if I play the Purgatory Sword and press level 1? You know, it never tells what that means. Okay, here you see the statistics. Unfortunately, just in columns, and graphically you don't get an idea of numbers here in this game. So you kind of have to see where this is going. Okay, it's giving me a countdown on the loadout. I'm going to show you the classes later on. Right now I'm going to dive into my chop lane, Spear of Caliban. You see here, sorry, I already upgraded the weapon, and I deploy like this, plasma gun and power fist, and deploy. So here, just one of the guys died. Okay, you have the option in this game to put friendly fire on, and I would possibly just have obliterated the apothecary right in front of me. And yeah, on the left you see Demon Lightwing, which is playing a librarian as it looks, and he just died. You see the number on his dead skull there. It's 208 seconds of cooldown until you can. It's a respawn timer basically. And there are just 2 classes in the game who can bring back people. The guy in front of me, Ebenmeister, is basically an apothecary who can heal, and I'm as a chaplain have the possibility to bring back. I can call my brothers back to arms, and yeah. As you get an idea of this walking, it feels pretty heavy. You can run. But yet, remember, you're on the Terminator armor. Terminator armor is basically a Space Marine and a heavy armor. It's a running tank. And therefore, you cannot really jump above things and get in cover. You are the tank. You can get behind walls or whatever, or doors in order to get cover, but yeah, you're a tank, basically. What you want to do in this game is you can close doors. Mechanics and controls are basically like in every shooter. You can change it in the controls, but E is use and close doors. Yeah. Now my cooldowns on my abilities on the bottom right, you see the icons. Unfortunately, it never tells you what these icons mean. You have to figure out on your own. It's not explained in the tutorial or the campaign where you play a librarian. It is basically, yeah, I had to look it up. That's also one critic I have about this game. Now I press the hotkey 1 and you see it on cooldown 97. And in a second, there is Brother Demon Lightwing who came back to life. So, eventually, as a chaplain or a normal Terminator, you don't want to die. I can bring back the whole team if it's dead. The common Terminator, I have to remember his class name. I'm always playing chaplain. And yeah, he can only bring one person back. My other abilities are basically damage reflector and the shield for my team. So in order to make them tanky or whatever. Every class has its own abilities. Like the Assault Terminator can teleport, the Librarian can obviously use psychic powers, and yes. So I have upgraded my weapon over here. If you're asking yourself, if you're a Warhammer 40k player, oh, he's shooting plasma and it don't overheat. Does not overheat. I upgraded my weapon. I'm going into all this upgrade and refining process once we have done the gameplay here. Yeah, as you see, it's basically Left 4 Dead with opener levels and a mission to accomplish. On the bottom left, you have the minimap, which is blinking up. The sound design is really good. You can possibly not hear it very well because I just put the volume down. So you can hear me better, and don't have to shout. Now we have 2 apothecaries and a librarian. It would be great if someone would switch to heavy support. So you see some different weapons. Yeah, exploding turrets. On the very right is my health bar, basically. You see the Terminator armor and very roughly shaded. And once I will get damage, you will see that it will... You can see the damage there, if it's red. If you're getting too much damage and no heals, I'm gonna try and show you here. Now you see where the impacts are. And now I use my shield ability. And I get no impacts at all. I can lose my legs or my weapon arm and I cannot fire, or I can move very slowly, and I have to rely on the apothecary in the team to heal me back to full life in order my body parts will work again. The numbers you see above the heads of the people are basically the player levels, so he's level 3. This is in disregard to he's a level 1 guy. I'm just gonna educate him to close the doors. What happens if you play on higher difficulties? You will get overwhelmed by enemies. So if you close the doors behind you, the enemies cannot come through. The setting is very 40k-ish. Graphics look nice, sound design is excellent, and yeah, you can open the doors the one way or the other way, as you just saw. The negative thing about this is if you smash it down, it makes more fun, but you cannot close it afterwards. So yeah, you can run, but you cannot run always, you know. You're going to be exhausted soon, there it stops. So this is basically to empathize the heavy Terminator armor, if you're know a little bit more about the lore. Yeah. You can play a maximum of 4 people in oh, we've reached checkpoint. There's a Psy gate. I'm gonna show you what that means. So maximum is party of 4. In multiplayer you can already access all the weapons. You might get the one or another skin with making some character progress, but yeah, this is it. The Psy gate is basically your shelter. You're getting healed when you go into it. It's a checkpoint. There's certain you know, things. You can change your you have to press E. You can change your loadout over here. So as I said, you can also as Chaplain you can play Stormbolter and Crucius or a Power Fist, and you see the stats bottom at the bottom. Heavy Flamer is fun too. Redemption, Power Fist, and Redemption is basically the Stormbolter, just another type of Stormbolter. I'm gonna stick with this because the mission or the team needs this damage of the small plasma gun. It's not a heavy one, it's more like a rapid fire one, and we're gonna deploy it. I'm gonna show you the classes later on. So right now, here we go. Yeah, graphics are indeed nice. You're just gonna, like in Left 4 Dead, you're just gonna make your way through the enemy hordes and try to accomplish the mission. There's a quick order interface on space which you can use, or you can give a call. I can call for heal even if I don't need one. And you see on the bottom left chat, every player has its own color, which is determined when you join the game, and it stays until the end. So you can, it's a pretty nice gimmick because you can really fast see who's saying what. And yeah, I need an apothecary, and the apothecary will see that I need healing. You use this menu to, I don't know what banners means, like throwing a banner and enhance people, I don't know. Defend, follow, move to, and if there is a door, you can open the door, or give an order to hack the door for the apothecary who can do that, or to destroy the door, or whatever. You can use this in the single player mode a lot more than in the multiplayer, because people here have minds, and the AI in the single player is not the best, to be honest. And here we have a high ping jump. What you see here is, I think, a healing aura of the apothecary, if I'm right. My cooldown's going down. Tactical interface is M. You can see the map as a whole. You can zoom out and zoom in just by using the mouse wheel. This orange things here are auto guns, which will fire at anyone in their range. You can hack them in the single player, you can or should destroy them in the multiplayer. Here's our mission goal, the current objective. There are custom objectives, enemies arrival, like enemy spawn points, turrets. Basically pretty straightforward. Teammates listed up, and log of what's going on. Yeah, scan you can use in single player most likely. So right now I'm falling behind. Here you see we are going into the right direction. Activate the generators is our current objective, and we just go and make our way through. This is on, I think that's also, you can ask, you don't see it when you join a game. Big time should be an easy thing to implement, but in my opinion necessary, because if you're more advanced you might want to join harder games because your character is advanced and you don't get so much experience in playing normal. The community, however, since it's a PvE game, you have no option to play PvP. And the community is super nice. Most of them are Warhammer fans and you can jiggle around with them. For example, my Steam name is Grimaldus. If you know him, it's a Warhammer 40,000 character. And yeah, people are joking around with that a lot. Especially also because you're using also visiting a Black Templar ship. If you're looking for outside missions, you won't get one. This is SpaceHulk, so you will most likely be in a space ship. Disregarding of how it looks like a castle or whatever. Yeah, this was my second hand, my Power Fist. It is interior only. So, just the mechanics of the gameplay. You can shoot, you can run, you already saw that. You have 3 abilities per class. And yeah, you should close the door, right? Yeah, you can see. Nice. So, basically, shoot, run, control is basically your shield. You know, you're getting cover with that if there are exploding enemies or bigger enemy units. I'm trying to get some damage here, but yeah, I've upgraded my character, so normal is not really a challenge here. Normally you could just, you know, yeah. You see, I don't get the impacts. I get. On some point my arm will fall off and you cannot get cover anymore by using it. The other thing you can do is just smashing with your second hand, which is, I have to admit, if you're not playing Assault class, Assault Terminator, this game is really focused on shooting stuff. And the melee weapon choices are very limited. And you most likely stick with one of it, because, yeah, it's the strongest. So this is the gameplay. This very dark setting, it is grimdark, as Warhammer 40,000 should be. And the look of the other classes are pretty nice. Librarian. What I'm gonna do now is I will use the photo mode. And now you see I have no interface, no map, I don't see where my teammates are, but you can enjoy the surroundings a little bit better. Yeah, there are also big enemies. Now I use my abilities, which you don't see right now, if you wonder what this eye and the Inquisition signatures means. So secure the bridgehead. This is the very first mission in the campaign, and we joined on a little bit advanced level. And we are cleansing this place. Apothecary, Librarian, and I think this is the heavy guy with the flamer, which also looks pretty nice. Burning heretics and Xenos. I run my way through because I know what's coming. Yeah, the ways sometimes feel a bit long, and this is a lot of grinding over here. So what's happening right now is I'm waiting for my team. It's okay, they are a little bit of lower level, so they can take their time. If you play with more advanced players, they will give you possibly a little bit more pressure to not fuck around too long, because they want to finish the mission in order to get their reward of experience and honor. Yeah, the graphics for remastered, I'll look at all those badges here, are pretty decent. Not the best, not the worst. I'm missing here. Here you have a different open and go, open and close, defend, destroy door, unlock, lock, heal, move to, follow, defend. So photo mode off and close the door. So as you see, the gameplay is pretty basic and it slightly changes with the class you play, but don't expect like too much heroic possibilities with your characters. Each character class and each character has its pros and cons and different playstyles, but yeah, you will get used to it fairly quickly. As you see here, this is really like nice Warhammer feel to it. We're just going, the bridgehead is basically the spawn of this mission as well. In terms of missions, the campaign comes with 9 missions, which is a bit few in my opinion, and you play those over and over again in multiplayer. So it's always the same missions. I can smash the door with my Thunder Fist, Power Fist, and Thunder Fist. Cultist over here. Yeah, once you get out of range, you might have difficulties to see your teammates. You see them very far in a small... Whoop. The blue stuff at the end of the horizon. Yeah, you can zoom here with the second mouse button. So what happens now is we are here at the bridgehead, so we establish a bridge for other marines to arrive, and we have to defend it. Calculation running means basically this is a progress bar of how long you have to do this objective. You see it at the very top. Yeah, the sound design is super nice. My team is still on their way, and I'm already here. This is basically the landing stuff. We came in here. Cultist. As you see now, I'm getting really damage on. What's... Now I have no... Now I really need an apothecary. Yeah, and you see on the right I got healed. Now we will defend this for a couple of minutes. So yeah, even if the mark is down there, you can just accomplish your mission over here on the top. Enemies will come. Looking at the details, you can see where the Tyranids are coming from everywhere, basically. I'm not gonna shoot too much because I want to show you the level a little bit. And it's a lot going on here. As you see, the calculation is still running, so it takes a little bit, and what you just saw is basically half the mission. Or a third of it. Not the half. we're just waiting on. Oh nice, here we have a big one who is doing a lot of damage, and I'm putting on my buffs for my team. Maybe we are lucky and 2 or 3 people die so I can revive them. Oh, he's tanking me. I just go into a narrow area and he cannot follow me. If he wouldn't have died, he could have just not entered this small space. You can use doors and pathways to dodge big swarm lords or hosts. Yeah. It takes some time. So if you want to change your class during the mission, you can only do that in Psy Gates. Make sure to talk to your people and get an idea of what the team needs. So you would need an apothecary at least. Might be possible to make it without, but it's super annoying. Oh, you hear the big scream? Yeah, there's a big one coming. Those purple ones explode. There you go. Yeah, you see the flame is pretty effective, psychic powers are effective. He could use a sword once in a while. Putting on my shields and helping out a little bit. Maybe. Spear of Killer, when you see this is the shots I have, I upgraded the weapon so it won't overheat, because if you fire like that, you might get overheating once in a while. You won't explode then. I know, 2 people died, and I can bring them back. Takes a couple of seconds, 1 or 2 seconds, and they are back. So it's really nice to have a chap lane on board. I usually play more tanky, but we lack firepower, so I took Spear of Caliban, which is not the highest armor penetrating weapon, but yeah, at least it's plasma. And has AoE, area effect damage. Calculation running, still a thing. Sometimes it gets a bit exhausting and long, like a last stand. It's really grinding here. Bridgehead secured. This is only the start, indeed. This was the mission. It takes some time to log off. And now we see the debriefing, which doesn't tell us a lot. Yeah, killed medal, assist medal, healed medal, damage medal, death medal. Relics are a thing you can find, like a sword or whatever it might be, an object hidden on the map. It's always on the same spot, and if you get a relic, you will possibly get more experience. You can get up to 3 relics, or depending on the mission. For this, I got a little bit of experience, and it automatically goes into the next chapter. What we are not going to play now. Now I'm going back to the menu and show you the game options. I think this is enough of gameplay showed. There are a lot of let's play or gameplay videos out there, so I just wanted to give you the impression of what it is and what it feels like. Yeah, loading times are a little bit related to the people you play with, because it is, you know, a player-to-player connection, and if the host is leaving, as I said, you might lose connection and not getting any experience, because you get it at the end of the mission. And yeah, I'm going back to menu. Confirm. So, again, gameplay is okay. Let's go, and I'm gonna show you the multiplayer. And we have 3 games now. Ping is waiting. Yeah, you see the pings are very high. You know, always depending on your connection in regard to the connection the other players might have. You can search for codex rules, contain word, whatever. It's not necessary, because most likely there are no I haven't experienced yet that there are more than 5 games open, which is sad because it's a fun game. If you want to host a game, you put server name. Here's also one thing which annoys me: very limited characters. Okay, I can't even call for war. I can't even write that. Okay, no password. Friendly fire can be put on, but again, if you look at the server list, you only see codex rules. You don't even see if friendly fire is on, or you don't see what difficulty is going on. So people have to write it in here. So I have to use this small server name field and put everything on. Codex rules, basically you can change your class during the mission. You can change your equipment during the mission. All skills and equipment are unlocked from the start. Respawn times, blah blah blah. If I put that on. Oh, you can change, I think. During the mission, yeah, on the spear. Anyway. I'm gonna host. You have a short loading screen depending on your computer's abilities. And here you can have all the journeys available. You can put everything. So I could also play only chapter 5 and 6. You have everything unlocked, even if you didn't play the single player campaign, okay? Here you have the different difficulties. Friendly fire activated and 10 special missions. You can basically you have 19 missions to choose of, and that is it. From what if you need 30 minutes for a mission or 40 the most, and that's like if you play really chill, not even, you have maybe 19 hours of playtime if you play all, and that's not a lot. And it gets quite monotone, to be honest. I will come to that when we review everything. Here you have select your class. We stopped there in the because we got a cooldown. So you have the Assault Terminator, which you did see. We have the Heavy Weapon Specialist, which has basically a bolter and a power fist. You have an Assault Cannon and a power fist. You have Vengeance is basically Assault Cannon as well. A Plasma Cannon, a rear one. You see the damage over here, and the Spear of Caliban, the Plasma Cannon, Plasma. This is rapid fire basically, and this is a real Plasma Cannon. Really stick to the lore and to the 40k feel and universe. The Librarian can get a Stormbolter, Power Fist X. Redemption is a Stormbolter basically, Lightning Claws, Stormbolter, and here you can choose again. Yeah. You cannot, again, annoying here, you cannot see the abilities here, and it's not really explained here. Shockwave is explained, release a blast of telekinetic force, but you still don't get the idea of what icon you have to push in order to release this shockwave. You will find out very quickly because it's just 3 items, but yet I feel that should be explained, especially for new players, and it shouldn't be that you have to look up the most important thing when you play or when you choose. It is basically, besides the loadout, the most important thing are the abilities of your classes, and they are nowhere explained, and that annoys me a lot. And it's big minus I give this game. And yeah, again, Apothecary should have his Narthecium, if I pronounce that right. So yeah, you can heal and hack. I don't know if you can heal without it. Yeah, you should be able to. Anyway, I've never played that. I always play him. Unless in the campaign you have to play Psycho Heresy and Detected. You have a tactical specialist who can also revive one person, as I said. And you have the classic chaplain. And this is it. Going back to the menu. No, cancel. Yet no person joined. Just here you can invite your friends if you want to. But seeing that no person joined already, right now it's I have a day off and it's lunchtime basically here in Europe. So you won't have American people here because they are still sleeping. but you could have a lot of Russians here because they are like 6 hours ahead from where I am. But yet no players joined the game, and there are no servers like US West, US East, or Europe or Asia, because this is not what the player base. It's just too small of a player base in order to give that much options. You can refresh and leave. Quick match is basically you're going to join a random server, but yeah, with that little service available, it's not really random. You see, we just had a level up in this thing, and now we're going to customize. Rewards of Valor you get when you level up. Okay, here you see I got a Storm Castigan with which is a Storm Bolter skin. It is, and I got it is rare, nice, and I got this stuff here, credits, 4,800 credits for level up. With this credits, you can buy and upgrade your character. You can also buy skins. If you buy skins, however, whether it be, it is just character related. If I buy a skin with my chaplain, it's not available for my Liberian, even if it's a weapon skin, and he can also use that weapon. Big minus. So for one level, you need possibly, I don't know if it scales up a lot if you go into, I have people seen with player level, 1,000. I have level 25 after 40 to 50 hours of playing. I play chilled and most likely multiplayer. But yet, it's a lot of grinding, and considering you have only this 9 missions with 10 extra missions, which no one plays, most likely. It's a free DLC, I think. But yeah, it gets really monotone. So I'm going to use the Interrogator Chaplain, and I have upgraded him a little bit so you can get an idea. So for the upgrades, you have armors, which are skins. I have the one I like because it has like black tablet colors. And here you have 3 open adornments, basically, which are passive, and you can upgrade them. But said that, you have a lot of options over here, which are, wow, that's a lot of customization possibilities and combinations over there. Careful. And yeah, you can even change the lighting. You have, for example, you have effect boost adornments, but you can only take one of those. So I either decide of increase your armor by 20% or increase your damage, range damage by 20%. Okay, I cannot go both, you see? Even if I wanna, I cannot select the slot and then might put in 3 effect boost adornments. I ask myself why, because that would give you a lot more build options to it. So this is also a critic I have. Okay, you don't want to be too overpowered. But yet again, it is a bit of an illusion of choice, because depending on the class you play, it's most likely really down to 1 or 2 things the most you will want to upgrade to. So either you go melee damage, but then you miss armor, and if you play higher levels, you need that armor. So, or you have a tank in your team, and you can, put the range damage boost adornment, or whatever. Saying that, you cannot change this adornments when you're in the lobby. So if you're playing with random people, you have to guess and be a little bit of lucky. That's also a minus I have in order to what should be, changed. Because you should be able to adapt to your team when you play with randoms, right? If you play with your friends, okay, you can build a team like, okay, you're a Soul Terminator, you're going to tank. I build a tanky Interrogator Chaplain, and whatever. You can, switch your adornments how you need them and like them, but you cannot do that in the game, not even in the Psygate. And this is what annoys me a little bit. Anyway, yeah, you can have effect reduce adornments. Right now I have, and they cost a lot, right? So saying 15 grand, and you need like 4 level ups in order to buy one of those, and you need like, for 4 level ups, you need like 15 games or more, 16 games maybe. And it takes a long time, a lot of grinding. So you have here plasma effect reduction. You only need that when you play with friendly fire, in my opinion. Thorax swarm effect reduction. Not really what that means. You have to look it up. It's not really explained. Acid damage. You need an, what would be nice is like a wiki in the game where you can see, okay, this enemy, or in the campaign, if you first fight a Gene Stealer, you could have a library. I think Dead Space has it, where you can look up, okay, this enemy does that kind of damage. That would help a lot in order to make decisions on this. You don't have it. Cooldown reduce the dormants, basically reduce your skill cooldowns. You have, depending on the character, you have that. And here you have the skins, also really expensive. Back. For the weapons, same. Playing Spear of Caliban, you see 8 slots, and you say, wow, that's a lot. But again, illusion of choice, because it's modules. So you cannot put 2 modules. Well, with optical modules it makes sense. But yeah, you can take 1 of 3 barrel attachment, and we'll take 1 spot here. Bayonets. It's just a look thing. They don't do anything to you. If you see, I change a bayonet and it's not changing any of the bars down here. Here it changes a little bit, but really, depending on the weapon, it's pretty clear or pretty obvious what you will take here. You have only 1 reliability module, magazine only 1. So again, you think, okay, I can put 8 different things here and I can customize the hell out of it. Yeah, but no. You have the illusion of having a lot of options, but really it's down to very few, which makes sense, or at least very few just available. I mean, what's the point of putting 1 module and you just have 1 option for it? Like here. Really? Like at least put 2 so you have to make a decision on it. That's what I kind of dislike. Same with close combat weapons. I would play, for lore-wise, I would play the Croziers, but really you just can either make a speed boost or damage boost, and you see it also, the relation of the changes is pretty clear what you will take. Possibly the speed, right? Or what will you take? The damage boost, but that's really a decreasement in speed. Possibly get more shots out of it. The longer you fight, this one will be better. So again, here you have the illusion of choice. It's very, yeah. Even the claws, again, 1 option, 1 options. So this is how you can customize a character, right? And you can have different banners, perks. You can have 1 perk. I have now increases HP by 30% for each body part to sprint longer, or to giant Gene Stealers, or you have 1 perk. You also should be able to have a little bit more of choice. It's very down to very basic stuff, and yeah, this is a customization. It's nice, but it could be better in my opinion. There could be more to it. So conclusions. People who reviewed this poorly basically were looking for a standard game. It is, as I said, Warhammer 40k games are difficult because of the fan base is very detail loving and easy to enrage, like with every fan base. Look at Avatar or whatever, Last Airbender calling. It is, as I said, a unique realization of the world of 40k. The graphics are really nice. The gameplay is alright, could be better, but it is really fitting the mood and really fitting the setting of what you play. You're a Terminator, you cannot sprint unlimited, you cannot jump over things or get really in cover. I mean, you're a huge human, semi-human being. And yeah, the fact that I think Left 4 Dead is a pretty good references. You grind a lot, and you're just cleansing spaceships of aliens. And this is what the game is about. You have no PvP mode, and it's a very friendly community, but it's a small player base. And I got this game for $15 on a sale. I think it's a pretty, yeah. Bottom line, if you can get it with a discount and you like 40k, even if you don't like 40k, you might like this game. On a discount for 15 to even 20 bucks, I would buy it, but I would not call it a full standalone, even if it is one. But I wouldn't go so far to say, okay, this is a full price, 70 bucks game, standalone. What it is, in my opinion, is a really advanced card game. You have the possibility to customize. You have a difference in the missions and campaign. You have multiplayer, but yet for full game, I've played so much games throughout my life, and sorry, I cannot recommend this game for the full price. It is just not. If you're really a fan, buy it, and if you have, make sure to have friends who also buy it so you can play it. Because if you rely on 300 ping lobbies and a small player base like this, it's getting really frustrated, and you will possibly regret paying that amount of money into the game, for the game. I mean, also regarding gameplay, options of covers are limited, but that's okay. It's more effective to just slay the enemies and have a nice team combination. Team play is important here. Team combinations and lineup combinations are important as well. Your squad should be designed in a way that makes sense. Also, not only lore-wise, if you play like that, it makes sense. The AI in the campaign is not really smart. If you know Rainbow Six and you're used to it, you can play around that, but they need a lot of babysitting. The AI in terms of enemy is smarter because it takes cover, and they take cover, they run different ways if you try to hide, and the AI for the enemies is fine, but the AI for your teammates are bad. And overall, it's a really nice experience. Also, as a 40k fan, and with the additions from the enhanced edition, the special missions, the game has possibly added some replayability. And as I said, and as you saw, if you seek to customize your own Terminator, you will not be disappointed, but don't be too, don't wait for, endless options. It is limited, and it's okay like that. So, SpaceHulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition. The review I give you. It is a fun game, but if you have friends to play with, the servers are basically just hosting the game, and you connect, as I said, to the place itself, and it's possibly as populated as Cadia these days. It is a warning I give you, because don't buy it as full price. It is, in my opinion, I would give it a 10 out of 10 if they would sell this as a arcade shooter, for 20 bucks. It's worth it totally. You get a lot for your money then, and if you get it on discount, you get a lot for your money too. But if you pay full price, or put a price tag on this between 50 and 70 euros or dollars on it, then I have to disappoint you, and I cannot recommend this game. As a full standalone game, it has too little of options. Customization is there, but it's more like, as I said, in an arcade game, okay, for full price, expect a little bit more options and a little bit more flexibility, and not the illusion of choice, but really having the choice to make some impact. And different combinations won't go, and with weapons, and that is kind of sad. The graphics are outstanding, and the combat is more adequate. It's a good game. Gameplay is basically, yeah, it's a shooter with missions. I mean, go to the place and do the mission, right, and go back and do this and do that. It's left for that advanced, I would say, with more flexibility where you go and what ways you use. And the maps are big and well designed. The graphics are great, as I said. There's, however, a few things about the game I wish they had done differently. The codex rules, I know I haven't seen anyone not using it, but they are like, possibly you use it or not, but if you play with buddies, I don't know. The respawn times are unbearably long, so you need someone to revive people. But also, it's a thing I like on the other side because you get punished for dying, so you cannot just YOLO in. It feels like the game wasn't meant to be a really challenging one. So the difficulties are still very easy. It is really, you know, you have a lot of options, but yet you come down. You need an apothecary, and you need possibly someone to revive if you play on high difficulty. So the squad combinations go really down to, okay, you can flex pick 2 or 4, and it feels like the game would have been more replayable if the developers would have added a workshop to let the modding community go absolutely nuts on it, because it has a lot of options. A level editor would have been fine. The level design is nice, but I think it is not that complex. Or at least put on more skins onto it and more, give it more flexibility in the choices of weapons or whatever. Single player is, NPC battle brothers are really, stupid. It's more like, I don't know if they're infected by chaos or whatever, but they are like, I've read a review where someone says it's like the NPC battle brothers had their gene seed implanted upside down, and that's possibly nailed it. If you have experience with Vegas, Rainbow Six, or whatever, you might get used to it and you can use it in a good way, but they're really stupid. They need a lot of babysitting, and eventually there need to be more games like this in 40k. And it's a niche and a niche crowd, but the problem Games Workshop has, in my opinion, is they putting out their IP to everyone, and at least in game developing, and I have had a lot of disappointments. Like, you can disagree with me on that, because, for example, Battlefleet Gothic Armada, I bought it before it was released, and I got my money back after playing it 2 days. And don't get me wrong, it might be a good game and you might be hyped by it, but man, Free Space 2 wants its graphic back, and that's like 20 years old. And it's not, it looks nice, but if you play it, it's so repetitive and boring. And, coming back to this game, it is a lot of fun. If you play with cool people, if you play with fun people, if you play with your friends, you can have a lot of fun on it. And, it's a lot of fun. But it gets to its limits because it is so repetitive and it requires a lot of grinding to advance. And as a single player, this is just ridiculously bad and annoying almost. But with other people, it is really fun and enhances your experience a lot. It is, take it as an arcade game, buy it in the discount or in the sale, but don't buy it for full price. I cannot not recommend it. Only if you're the hardest 40k fan possible, and you plan to put hours and hours on hours into that. I've been really enjoying this game so far, and 90% of my game time was possibly multiplayer, and it's been a blast for the nice people you play with. No PvP is also good for the community. I think it wouldn't make much sense in this game, and it gives you a nice feeling because the people are not toxic. I've played a lot of games throughout my life. Played StarCraft competitively, StarCraft Brood War on a very, very high level, non-Korean standards, for non-Korean standards. I've played MOBAs, Heroes of the Storm, League of Legends, and there are a lot of toxic people out there in the internet, and you will not meet that in this game. So if you want to chill down after a long working day, just purge some Xenos of Space Marine spaceships, this is the right game for you. And as I said, you know, let's take a look at some of the reviews now, and here we are. So, not recommended is, I wanted to like this game, I really did, but after having run through it, the rather boring single player, I agree, it is very limited, overwhelming sense of mediocrity, playing on small, blah blah blah. Yeah, here you have most of the weapons feel grossly underpowered for what they are supposed to be. The flamer in particular is terrible, and the meal system, such as it is, chunky at the point that I never bothered to even try running any of the meal-only weapons load up more than once. I kind of agree. Weapons are underpowered, yes, but you can update them, and that's the sake of it. So if you would get the most overpowered weapons from the beginning, plasma weapons with barely overheating, and that would be just too easy. And I disagree on that point. I agree that the melee system is a little bit clunky, and you have to get used to it. But once you get used to it, it's okay. It's playable. Yeah, graphics are right. It is an enhanced edition. It is not a remake. So graphics are really nice for that point. I cannot agree on his point there. And the music and sound effects are forgettable. I do not agree. The dialogue is bugged sometimes. That is right, as is the chat. I have to admit, I did forget to tell you that. It sounds really fine. I mean, considering the age of the game and the possible budget, it is not a Blizzard game. It is not like Call of Duty series, which put more money into a game than a movie would cost possibly. So taking that into consideration, it's really unfair to give it like non-recommended because of that. And yeah, again, not although I'm not really a big first-person shooter fan myself, I decided to buy the game. Now, after playing through all the main missions, which took 10 hours, yeah, 10 to 12 hours, I agree. That's why I said it's more an arcade game than but also Call of Duty you can play through in 12 or 14 hours. So the 4 hours more are not really worth. Here we have repetitive level design is a minus. Kind of agree, but on the same time I don't. Yes, of course, it is interior of spaceships, and they are Space Marine spaceships most likely, so it is kind of meant to be repetitive, or you have no choice but to have it repetitive, but they build it a lot different. Bugs here and there. Honestly, I haven't experienced too much bugs which would cause you frustration in 40 hours now. Lack of an atmospheric soundtrack. Yes, soundtrack could have been better, and it's just missing. But again, I think that's a point of money, and it shouldn't be impacting your game fun, because this is what it is. It's like an arcade multiplayer, how I see it as said, to turn off your brain. Again, unfortunately, this game has great potential, but let down. Developers don't understand how fun games should be made. But remember, that's why I said. Can't tell, haven't played it. Need a bigger flamer. We were playing Duo and have completed 3 chapters in 3 hours, died several times only because some toxic Salvia another go was shooting me. One shooting me. I had no computer issues on this game, to be honest. Well, I run a pretty high standard computer, so I cannot tell if you... Yeah. He also said, better buy it with a discount, 30 to 40 is overpriced. I agree. I've been enjoying it a lot, both single player and especially Coop. I can just relate to the latter because single player I found a little bit bumpy, to be honest. Pros looks beautiful, I agree. No frame rate issues on okay, whatever. Sound is what I'd want. Yeah, I agree here, but the overall level sound and alien sound is nice. Class Coops are really fun, I agree. Some free DLC, I like. No paid microtransactions, I like. Quite some enemy upgrades that may be costly but awesome, yes. But here again, illusion of choice in my opinion. You have the choice, but very limited. Yeah, that's a matter of interpretation right there. Melee is fun, could be, yeah, we read that. Conclusion, game seems to be in a good state, paid €15 and I'm happy with my purchase. I can just give you a thumb up for that, and that's pretty much my conclusion as well. Nice game, but for €40, sorry it's not. And you know, for Warhammer 40,000 fans, if you have 3 friends playing it with you, buy it for 40. If you haven't, don't do it. I give it, as an arcade game, I would give it a 9 out of 10, possibly even a 10 out of 10 if it would be for a better soundtrack and a better single player, better AI, and a little bit less bumpiness of some of the mechanics and explanation of the abilities. As I said, it's incredibly stupid that they don't tell you what your character does. You cannot hover over the icons and they are not explained. So I would give it a 10 out of 10, a 9 out of 10 if it would be stated as an arcade shooter for $20 maybe. Considering the price of 40 euros, might be $50, I'm not sure, maybe you can let me know how much dollars this would be, or I can look it up in the Steam store. Sorry, 6 out of 10. I know it sounds cruel, even though level design is nice. I like 40k, I love 40k, I love the setting. They executed really well visually and from the sound as well, and but there's not enough in there. So I hope this review helped you to make a decision on whether you want to buy this game or not. I hope my very basic gameplay showed you what this game is capable of how it looks, how the feeling is. However, you can go to Twitch and just look more of gameplay videos, Let's Play SpaceHulk Deathwing, look it up. I think there are a lot of videos on there. I didn't want to make a Let's Play. I want to give you an honest review, and this is my conclusion, and I hope you can work with that. And yeah, hope to see you next time. If you have a specific game you want to do me a review on, just let me know. Right now I have in the pipeline still Indiana Jones, The Fate of Atlantis is a nice one. Okay. I have still Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition I want to go over through. I have Inquisitor Martyr, which I will go through for my 40k channel. And this has also been a really interesting buy and a really interesting progress this game took. And we have a lot of games here in the pipeline I could review. And the Dawn of War franchise. And I will try to be as honest as possible to give you a very objective insight on the purpose, on the matter, because I don't, for example, I disagree with people, you know, you can only like or dislike the game here on Steam, but if you have the IMDb and people just give 1 star out of 10 for Avatar, the real life action, for example, it's because they are mad. It's not an objective or honest review on it. It is just you're mad at the publishers, like Dawn of War, for example. I've seen on rating systems, people would give 1 out of 10 stars for Dawn of War 3. Yes, Dawn of War 3 might not have been what you've expected as a fan of the series, but to be honest, playing a lot of video games on my own, a 1 of 10 is just not what it is. It is because you are mad and you are not able to have an honest opinion on it. Or it might be your opinion, but you know, you have to take into consideration graphics, gameplay, bugs on release, customer care from the developers, gameplay itself, and the whole what you get for your money is also an aspect of rating, and you should take that into consideration. And you know, giving 1 out of 10 is really cruel, even for the worst game ever made. I don't say that is the worst game ever made, but even if there should be a game which is so bad, I don't know. It is just ungrateful and unthankful for the people who put work and love into that and were trying to give you an experience from a universe you love. And try to be a little bit more modest when you give reviews, and try to be as fair as possible, because that encourages the developers to put more effort into a game. But if you just dump shit it right away from the very first day, I remember Diablo 3 was basically unplayable when it came out. I've played Diablo 2 for years, and it got so bad reviews, but Blizzard did stick to it and made it a better game. And now today even today, like 5 years after, it's still playable and people play it, and the player base grew for 300, 400% in the last years after they brought out Reaper of Souls. So if you dipshit right away, it's your right because you paid money. If you buy games at Steam, you can get refunded, like I was on Battlefield Gothic Armada 2 because I thought it was a shit game, in my opinion. As I said, I can do an honest review on that as well, and try to be as polite as possible with the matter. I won't give it a 1 out of 10, even I think it's a bad game. I try to be fair. But again, if you dipshit it right away, publishers will leave it. You know, that's what happened to Dawn of War 3. So you could give critics, but do it constructive. Don't say it's shit. Say, okay, I don't like, or I would not buy it because of this and that reason. If the developers would implement this and that and that, then it would possibly be worth buying it or whatever. Give critic, but constructive. Don't be dipshitting shit. Don't be dipshitting it just for the sake of you not liking it or raging it because you're fanboying too hard or fangirling. So that's why developers left Dawn of War 3 basically. It was, to be honest, a game with a lot of potential, but that's going to be another review. And yeah, guys. Again, coming back to SpaceHulk Deathwing, you heard all my conclusions. What could be done better? I think it came through out the video. I made pretty clear what should be improved on this in order to, yeah, give it a little bit more depth and make it worth the money it costs. That is it from me, an honest review of SpaceHulk Deathwing on this channel. I hope to see you next time. Leave me a comment below if you have critics. Be constructive if possible. Leave me a like if you liked it, and let me know what you would like to see next. See you next time. Happy gaming.